In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called ShutterPress. As it shows on my screen, this is a WordPress gallery plugin for photographers. So take all those beautiful pictures and display them elegantly on your WordPress websites. It's kind of the idea here, along with a host of other features. Before we poke around the website here a bit and look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website and product for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free lifetime partner membership. And we thank ShutterPress for being a partner. If you go over to our website, find the deals area, do a search for ShutterPress, grab that exclusive deal if you like what you see in this video. All right. So the website we are looking at is shutterpress.io. And we're just going to look at the things I typically look at. I'm looking for a changelog, documentation, roadmaps, an about page, things of that nature, as well as rattling off a list of features, just so we make sure we cover all of that in case I miss something when we look at the actual solution. So what I see right off the bat here is a nav item for features. So I'm going to click that. And we're just going to run through all the features: customizable gallery layouts, grid, masonry, or justified, a stylish lightbox, view full screen images, automatic slideshows, and zoom in on details. You can download photos, make images downloadable, choose full size or scaled, set individually for each gallery, select and filter images, choose your favorite photos, filter to see liked photos, optional for each gallery, Gutenberg/block editor and Elementor support. So display multiple galleries, customize all the various options, and add custom buttons. Password protection, create private galleries, set password for each gallery, unique passwords for each gallery, user accounts, restrict galleries to logged in users, use standard WordPress accounts, see who's viewed your galleries. PDF document creation, and create PDFs from your own templates, add to zip file downloads, or insert info with placeholders. You can watermark images, text or image watermarks, control size and positioning, remove with one click. Gallery zip download, add all photos to one downloadable file, add PDF documents, protect from unauthorized downloads. And lastly, send client emails, create custom email templates, send to selected users, and add additional email addresses. Okay, while we are down here in the footer, I want to open up the documentation. They have an affiliate program if that's something you're interested in. What else? I'm looking for, I'm not seeing an about page here. Okay, so a bit of feedback there is I would have for the team is have an about page with faces with names would be good. Establish that customer trust, but put a face to the team and some names. Okay, so and a little bit about the background of the history of the company potentially. Let's look at the documentation. This appears to be fine. I'm going to just click into one of these. All right, so I see a screenshot here. Okay, here we go. So we have some decent documentation here. There we go. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, this appears to be some good documentation. So I'm going to move this over to my other screen in case we need it. We already went over the features. So the only thing I'm kind of seeing here that I wish we could see is a changelog. And when there's a changelog, put the dates along with the version numbers. That also helps establish trust and communication there with current customers and potential customers. And then that about page. Yeah. All right. So since we're dealing with images, I thought it would be cool to also show that if you go to wordpress.org, you can go under the community nav item and go to photo directory. These photos are free for the public to use. So I thought it'd be really cool at the same time of introducing ShutterPress to also show that this was available. Okay. While I do have do a bit of photography myself. This isn't about me. So I wanted to, instead of use my photos, I wanted just to introduce everybody to this. So wordpress.org/photos, and you can grab any of these here. So I'm going to pull this over to my other screen too. We're going to use some of these images. Okay, so over in our left-hand menu on our sandbox test website here, we see a ShutterPress menu item. So I'm going to click on that. That's going to bring us into the all galleries, and it's going to want you to add a new gallery. Before we do that, let's come down here into email templates, and let's just go into one of these that have an existing one here. So here you can do a bit of dynamic tags, hi, and then inject the first name. And then we see other options here. Over here on the right-hand side, so they're calling them text replacements. So you can do first name, last name, username, gallery, password, gallery link, and your name there. Okay, so once you set up this template, you can do a send test email. All emails have been sent successfully. I'm going to assume it's going to go to the admin account of the website, and I'm not even sure what that is. So we will skip that, but it's pretty self-explanatory if you've ever built any kind of a template with these text replacements type of thing, or dynamically inserts data. Yeah, and then you can add new templates here. I think this is going to come into play, I think, here in a bit, like where these are actually used. So let's go back here to ShutterPress. Let's go to PDF templates. All right, so they gave us a license agreement, just like kind of like a demo here. Okay, so similar thing. Build out this template, and then you've got some more text replacements here. Your name, business name, and so on and so forth. If I click into one of these, what happens? Looks like that might copy it to your clipboard. Let's copy the business phone one and just see if we can paste that in. Okay, yeah, so that's what that is. That's copy to clipboard is what that is. Okay, you can also just copy the text that way as well. And then just like the email, we can generate a test PDF. Let's go ahead and click on that. Here we go. Instead of obviously going to email, we're going to get this PDF up on our screen. Okay, so that is how that looks. And I think these are going to come into play too. We'll figure out how these come into play. Let's go to product groups. I'm not quite sure what this is. Let's go and add new product group. IWP product group. Okay, so that could be our internal title. We're going to make that also our public title. You can put a description here if you want. We're going to skip that. Here we can select a product. We don't have any, so let's click add product. Oh, you select and then click add maybe? We should have products on the site. Here we go, simple product. Let's go edit that product. Let's check the product type. So it's a simple product. There's nothing else we can choose here specific to ShutterPress that I can see. So here we go, select a product. We'll go ahead and just publish this so we have it saved. We'll come back to that. We may have to search some documentation there. Okay, let's go back to ShutterPress and let's look at the settings. Okay, we have a bunch of settings. Under the General tab, we can set the type of gallery layout we want, choose to use Lightbox or not, pagination, use infinite scroll, images per page, basically just setting up how the gallery is going to look, right? All right, we can set up the gallery slug. We can set up, we can turn on debugging if we're having issues, adjust tracking and things like that. All right, let's go to business settings. So here you can just put in your, whatever your information about your business. You can drop that in there. Email settings. So you can set up the footer of all the emails that are going to go out. So we looked at those email templates. So if you want like a footer that's always going to go out attached to those emails, you can put that here. We'll go ahead and move on from that. Let's go to PDF settings. Here you can adjust the size, font size, so the actual page size of the PDF, font size, choose your font family. Let's go over to watermark settings. Here you can choose if it's just a text or if it's an image. Pick the image, select the image. Here you can do the design of the watermark, opacity, size, position. What engine do you want to use? GD for fast, or image ICK image. I never know how to pronounce that. Imagic for high quality, and then if you need to, you can just remove all watermarks with the click of this button. All right, here we have our WooCommerce settings section. If we want to hide all ShutterPress products from the shop page, you can do that. That's on by default. Hide from search, so hide from your store search, you can do that, which is on by default. Image threshold, adjust the image size threshold for scaling images. WordPress automatically scales images larger than 2,560 pixels on either side, and so on and so forth. So you can adjust that if needed. Let's go to system settings. So this is just telling you information about your server. Okay, so how do we add a product? How do we add a product? Let's go back to product groups, edit, add a product. So we can't select a product and we can't add a product. So let's pull up the documentation. Let's go to WooCommerce. Here we go, creating products. All right, here we go. Okay, so we add a product. Got it. Okay. Let's add our product. Let's call it IWP SP for ShutterPress product. All right. And then we're going to make this just a simple product. We'll just make it free. We'll say it's virtual and we'll say it's downloadable. Here's the settings right here, ShutterPress. There we go. We're going to set this and make it a ShutterPress gallery product. We can give it an internal title. I'll just make it the same as this. All right, there we go. And then you can drop categories on it if you want. You could put, just as you would if you're familiar with WooCommerce, assign a category if you want, assign tags, brands, product image, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna go ahead and click publish here. I'm gonna go back now to our product group, refresh that page. Now we should be able, there we go. We can select our product and click add product. There we go. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and update that. Now from that, we can show the products in a public catalog. Okay. See here, let's see. Just let me read through this real quick. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay, if you sell different print sizes with different prices. Okay. So basically you go in, you create your product. They want you to do it as a simple product. Add your name, product, price. And again, if you sell print size with different sizes, create one product for each size. If you offer options that don't change the price, e.g. finish type or paper, you can use attributes instead of variations. Okay, that's cool. So what they mean by that is if you come over here into the product, we can come down here and do attributes. So we could do like frame color, and then you could do red, and then pipe. You can do black, that sort of thing. Save the attributes. Okay, so that is that. And then how do we show these products? By default, all the products are hidden. Yep, we looked at that. Okay, it keeps your store clean. You can change this. Okay. We set our different attributes. Just scroll to the attributes section and add any options you want customers to select before purchase. Okay. We did all that. That's it. You're now ready to add. Product is now ready to be added to a product group and assigned to any of your galleries. Okay. So let's go over to ShutterPress. Let's add a new gallery. Let's just call this IWP gallery. Let's add our media. So I'm going to reference this directory. We're just going to pull down the first images, not videos, the first images that we see. Let's just go with the smallest for the sake of time. Pull up my downloads folder here. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and save this. Okay, let's go grab another image. I'm going to open a couple of these in a new tab. So let's download this one. And let's download this one. Oops. Okay, so we now have those 3 images. I'm going to come over here now and I'm going to add these to the gallery. So I'm going to upload those 3 images. There we go. I'm going to click select to insert those. All right, there we go. Okay, so the sorting options, drag and drop, you've got all kinds of as the default, and then you got all kinds of options here. We'll stay with the default of drag and drop. For the gallery options, we're going to allow them to favorite the images. So choose whether to show the option to like each image. Downloadable images, choose whether to make them downloadable individually. We'll go with the defaults there. Download full-size image. We will just go with the defaults of not allowing that to start. Do you want to control the access? So set a password or set to only logged in users can access. We are going to keep it blank for public access. We're going to keep this blank too, just so it's available to all users. But know that you can limit it to a specific user if you want. Use watermark settings. We'll go with that. Defaults we'll adjust if needed. WooCommerce sell photos. We'll go ahead and turn that on. When we turn that on, let's select our product group that we created. Secure photos. Do we want to secure our photos? Move the original version of your photos to a secure folder that can only be accessed after the image has been purchased. We'll just go with the defaults here, but just know that it's possible to secure your photos that way. PDF files. Create a PDF file form template. PDF template. Choose a PDF template to generate a PDF file from. You can only create one PDF file from each template. So I'm not quite sure what the PDFs are for. Not quite sure what that is for. So we'll skip that for now. Zip files. Show zip file download button. All right, we'll go ahead and show that. Select a zip file method, upload a zip file, or use an external link, or you can create a zip file. And then emails. So let's go back here to the main site. Let's go through PDF and emails. Easily create professional PDF documents such as licensing agreements. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So let's go with that. Let's say you wanted to create a license agreement to go along with that. So you come down here, we have the license agreement template that's included with the plugin. So we set that. So like you've got special parameters in your licensing, and it's going to be when they purchase the product group, the images, so to speak, it's going to include that license agreement in there. So that's a really, really cool feature. And then after you make that purchase, I'm assuming the email template is what you build with emails, right? Send client emails. Keep your clients informed and engaged by sending personalized emails directly from the admin page when the gallery is ready to view. Okay, yeah, so that's what that is. Okay, so we'll turn the zip file thing off for now. Emails, let's choose our email template. Your gallery is ready. Email addresses to send to. I assume that's just going to go to the customer automatically. Okay, let's go ahead and publish this. And let's view this on the front end. There we go. So here's our gallery. We have the date that it was published. Here, this is the ability to favorite those. Here we have the ability to download them individually. Okay. And then here we have the option to add them to our cart individually. This is the attributes that we set up. So frame color, red, you can have multiple attributes. So what would come with potentially like with an image? You could have like a frame, you could have a stand, different colors of stands, different types of frames, all these different sorts of things. And then our product is free, right? But here you can increase the quantity and that sort of thing. Okay, so you can toggle on show favorite photos or show all photos. Okay. All righty, let's see what else we can do. Let's go back to our settings. Again, we talked about all the different sorting options you can do. They can download the image. Okay, we'll skip that one again. Password, access control. We'll just put a password of test on this and see what happens. I assume nothing's going to happen because I'm already logged in as the admin. Yeah, okay, so let's copy this and let's open another browser where we are not logged in. Here we go. So the gallery is protected. Let's say they know what the password is. However it is they obtain that. Maybe they have a membership and that gives them the password. Whatever the case may be. There we go. So that gets them access to that. Watermarks. No images in the gallery are watermarked. Okay, yeah, we saw that here. We don't have any watermarks. So how do we do that? Let's do update watermarks. All images in the gallery are now watermarked. Super cool. All right, let's refresh. Here we go. So you see the word watermark there that's faint. And again, we can come over here into our settings for ShutterPress, go to watermark settings. We are using text by default. You can change that text. You can add an image. So maybe if you're a photographer and you have a logo, you could add your logo to the images. And then you can adjust the opacity, the size, positioning, and all of that good stuff. All right, let's do this. Let's switch to an image. Let's select our image. We will do the InfluenceWP logo. Okay, we're going to change the watermark opacity. We'll drop this all the way down to 15%, and we will change the size to 15% as well. Save. Maybe we need to regenerate those. So let's update the watermarks again. Let's refresh. Okay, I think it's there, but it's very faint. So let's get that opacity turned up. Refresh. I'm thinking you have to regenerate them every time you make a change. Let's go update again. I could be wrong about that though. Nope, it's there. So that's what you kind of need to do. Let me refresh this again. All right, for some reason that first image broke, but you can see the image there. So let's go down here. Let's go watermark size. Let's go 70% and 80% opacity. Let's go back to our gallery and let's update our watermarks and let's go refresh on the front end. There we go. So if you're watching this, Team ShutterPress, something a little wonky is going on. We've seen a couple of little hiccups there. I know that there's an update that's coming out very soon. Maybe that solves that. Otherwise, super cool. Obviously, you wouldn't want a watermark that it's that heavy, but just for testing purposes, that allows us to get this in there. This could also be something on my end where it's like It could be caching. I don't know why it would just be on one image, but it could be something wonky like that. So it may not even be ShutterPress's fault in this case. We could also try a different engine. We could switch from GD to Imagic, save. Let's regenerate these. I'm not really clear on if this needs to be regenerated each time. I'm just going to do it. There we go. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was the engine was the issue. Okay. Alrighty. What else? What else? What else? What else? We secured the photos. We put a password on those. Obviously, you can add more photos. You can add multiple product groups into your gallery. The PDF. We covered the PDF document. What that's all about. Show zip file download button. Create a zip file. Creates a zip file containing all gallery image. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Cool. So assuming they have access, they're going to get this button, download all images. It's going to generate that zip file. But that one failed. I'm not sure why. Let's go back over here to our zip file settings. Create a zip. No zip file has been created yet. Okay. So kind of like with those watermarks, we need to create that actual file. All images and files are in the zip file. Okay, let's go refresh. Download all images. There we go. So that's working. Okay, and then later on, if we decide, hey, we want to remove all watermarks, click that button. All watermarks have been removed. Let's go refresh. Boom, they are gone. Very, very cool. Looking over here on the right-hand side of our product, our gallery, I should say, we see the views, the dates and the times. I'm not sure what this download arrow is or this arrow pointing down is. So I'm going to click that. Okay. Not sure that does anything. Yeah. I think it's just telling you to go like keep looking down. Yeah. It does look clickable though. So I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Anyway, we can go ahead and move on. We can set a featured image for this gallery. We can embed the gallery. So for example, I can grab that gallery shortcode. I can go over to a page using the block editor or whatever it is that you use to build your post pages and whatnot. In this case, we will test the block editor. I'll do a slash that leads to the right. I will choose the shortcode block. Let's paste in our shortcode, save. Let's view this page on the front end. And there's our gallery there. Now, when the images that I chose were not all of the same orientation and size, so you got to think about that when you build out your galleries. All right, let's go back quickly through these. Yeah, so if you need to adjust the design for whatever reason, come in here and do that. The pagination, things like that. Put your business settings in. Come in here, put your footer settings in. It's going to be appended to your emails that you send out in the footer, obviously. If you need to adjust your PDF settings, do that. If you need to adjust your watermark settings, if you need to adjust your WooCommerce settings, you can do that. And then if you're having any issues or you just want to see like the status of things, come here to the system settings tab and just make sure everything is all on the up and up and green and looks good. I assume that ShutterPress is going to tell you if they see something with your server they don't think is ideal, and you can address those. The email templates, again, that's what goes out to the customers, to the clients, to the users at various times. And then the PDFs, you can attach license agreements, instructions, maybe like how to put the frame and the stand together and whatever else, how to hang the photos, all just use your imagination there. But a super, super cool plugin, and we're just barely getting started with it. Yeah, super, super cool. Show all, favorite them, download them individually, add them to your cart, make the purchases. And we've just barely scratched the surface on what we can do with WooCommerce. You could order, order bumps. You could do sell similar items like upsells. cross sells, all of that stuff that WooCommerce gives you on top of ShutterPress to really turn this into a powerful store for selling your media, right? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you're seeing with ShutterPress, again, go over to InfluenceWP.com, find the deals, do the search, and grab the exclusive deal. All right. Catch you guys in the next video.